welcome back everyone to Flykes06 channel here. Today we are doing a special live stream Q&A for Tanares Adventures and Tanares RPG items. So you see, hopefully you can see now that I'm here, and we have Alex, the CEO of Dragori Games, with us as well, and we'll be here to look at things in the game, talk about questions that you have about the game. We'll specifically try to, there's not really a lot that we can say about shipping, so that's part of the reason why I, mentioned that in my initial message. Especially if you have specific situation type questions, we're not going to be able to do this. This isn't like a customer service type thing. We're just trying to answer the questions about the game and what you guys think so far. So, anyway, you want to say something, Alex?
Hi everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you, and I'm here to answer any questions you have, and I'll do my best at least to cover anything you want to know and anything to help your gaming experience.
Okay, so anyway, if you guys do have questions, make sure to hey Ghost, make sure to post them in the comments down below, and Alex will be kind of checking those out as they populate. And I'll be over here, trying to manage the stream here and showing off the game. So let me, whoops, wrong camera. Turn that there. And anyway, so I figured what we could start with is some of our commonly asked questions, Alex. And the list that I sent you there. And maybe you just kind of read what those questions are, and then answer those, and we'll kind of start with that. Oh, you hear me?
No, sorry. What's that?
Oh, I said I figured we can start with the commonly asked questions of the list that I sent you, and then so you just read the questions off and then answer the questions.
Okay, no problem. Let me see. Let's start some questions that people already asked a lot, so let's try to clarify. Well, the first question is, where do I store the miniatures? So we made a document, the support document. We are showing every single miniature where you can place them. You see, there are, for example, for the penumbral box, you can hold all the class pack, all the character pack, the villain pack, the mystical pack inside the penumbral box. So it can help you to save room. And even some people asked about the Medusa. This miniature you can place on a specific part on the last tray of Tanares Adventures. It's not specific for Medusa because when we thought it would be a good idea back when we are creating the tray for the legendary box, some people complained, oh, I didn't get these miniatures, and now I'm gonna have some parts with no miniature. So we decided to create a generic room. So even if you don't have the Medusa, you don't feel like you are missing something on your box. And even if you want to store any other miniature, you can put there. It's on the place on the side of the mana cubes places, on the last tray.
Yeah, I can kind of show that here where it is. Although I will say, so I was actually going to do a little presentation here on the organization that I've come up with, but I'll show the spot that Alex is talking about. But I'm actually storing the Medusa in the legendary box, and those are in those extra tray spots that are there. So you can use that, or you can use the one in the Tanares Adventures box. So let's real quick look at the storage that I went with. I'm gonna shut your video off, but they'll still be able to hear you, Alex. Just so that way it's a little easier to see. Okay, so here is my Tanares Adventures box, everyone. Here is my storage bag here for, and Alex, feel free to comment on any components and things as I'm going through it. But the storage bag here is for putting all of your specific party components in here to kind of save your game.
Yes.
Okay.
And not just the component, not just the miniature, but the cards and even the quest cards you already have, the loot cards. So it's a place to you for you to store your save game. So you can click quickly on the next section. You just pick and continue to play. So I think it's a good thing. Of course, you can store in other places, but it's very convenient to put everything on the bag.
All right, starting with the top tray here, I have a bunch of the individual quest tokens, object tokens like the torch and key, all that in there. Which, by the way, I actually just got my plastic token bundle. If we have time later, maybe I'll show that off here since I know some people haven't even seen that yet. These are a lot of those same tokens that come in the arena, the contest box, but I put them in here. Just to kind of explain my idea behind my storage. And like I said, this is, or maybe I didn't say yet. So the idea of this is to try to maximize the amount of, or reduce the amount of boxes, but maximize your play time, because you have all of the Tanares Adventures related material in as few as boxes as possible. So I have it down to about 2 boxes between the Tanares Adventures box and the Arena of the Contest box. And then kind of the secondary aspect of storage here is the Arena of the Contest box and the Legendary box. And I'll probably talk more about it a little bit, but slightly a little bit of the penumbral box are kind of like the hero storage areas, which even include the PvP stuff. But anyway, let's get back to this box. So at the starting tray, I have all of the Comrade cards. Now, if you're not going to play with Comrade cards at all, that you may be able to save some space here, as well as under this tray here, I have all the initial NPC cards. So that way your city deck, your initial city deck is already ready to go. And in this side, I think, yeah, it's just more of the initial NPC cards, and then the Comrade cards. And then in this big one, which is flowing the most, is I have every hero card in here, just so that way people could pick whichever hero they want. If you don't have all of it, then this area would probably have less stuff in it. And then, of course, this is, the standard Tanares Adventures tray here, tray 1. Okay. Going down to tray 2. I have this one's pretty standard as well. I put some of the tokens actually where the barrel miniatures go. So you could try that as well as an idea. It probably makes it a little difficult to get them out because they're not truly designed that way. But I think, that you need some more kind of storage for it. And I put the barrels right here. And then below the barrels are all of the individual condition type tokens. And then, of course, we have our villain sleeves, which take up this entire area. There is... how many villains are there? Villain cards, Alex? I think 110 or something.
100. If you, I think there is no reason to put the penumbral monsters.
So, I probably should have.
The monsters, the final bosses.
You're right. So I should have clarified that all of the items that are in this Tanares Adventures box is just for Tanares Adventures. all of the items that are used for specifically the Time Twist campaign, which is a campaign that follows after Tanares Adventures, is all in the penumbral pack. There's nothing in the Tanares Adventures box because they are two different campaigns, so you don't want to mix those.
Yes.
All right, so going to level 3 here. Let's see, do you keep this token for... let's see, there was a question here. Oh, he had a question for Alex. So Alex can probably answer that. And for some of them too, Alex, if I'm like talking to you, you could also like type the responses in the chat.
Okay, I will try to answer.
Yeah, we can just kind of go back and forth between talking and writing answers. So next is the room boards. They're all kind of, split between this area. It's not a super well-defined area, I'd say, but it's good enough to put all the room tiles there. And then we have the boss snap token, which was sitting over here. Below that, we have some of the other tiles. This isn't all of them, but it's basically some of like these... I forget what the purple ones are called. What are these purple ones called again? The
purple.
Yeah, these ones. You see on my screen yet? The purple token. They're like square purple tokens with the faces in them.
I'm not seeing here because it's delayed.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, you'll see it soon.
when I see it.
Yeah. Then below that, there is all the mission tiles, and then these other. I'm forgetting all the names of the different terrain tiles right now. Normally I know them, but they fit all in this slot here in the bottom. If you line them up well. Okay, and that'll go there. I have all the mana cubes here. This is all of the snap-on bases. All the snap-on bases for Arena of the Contest and Tanares Adventures are put in a bag together. Right below that is all of the skill tokens. So, your level 1, level 2 skill tokens that go on the skill pads.
Just a second. This is the corrupted zone.
Yes, corrupted zone. That's what it's called. And then I think there's another one below that too, which is, I think, like the movement-based zone. Yeah, planar rifts. That's right.
Both are purple, but the planar has some sparks and lightning. The planar rift.
Yeah. Okay, and then next up here in the tray is I think this is almost, maybe, yeah, well, no, this isn't all of them. This is part of them because there's a lot of quest cards. So the quest cards do take up a lot of room because there is a lot of quests.
Yeah.
So they're in that slot there, and then I think the rest of them are mixed in with some of the other slots. Some of them just had to be mixed because there's too many to put all in one slot. And like I said at the beginning, these are all sleeved with the official sleeves, so that does kind of, take some more of the room. All right, and then we have NPC cards here. So this is weeks 2. Weeks 2 through 6. And then I think there is a couple 2s that are placed specifically at the top over here as well, to kind of make it a little easier to find them. We have 2s, and then here's more of the quests are actually below these ones. So like the earlier quests. I will say, I think I said in an earlier video, but if you are setting up the game, right, and you don't have a large area to store all the components, I highly suggest only taking just a smaller stack, like maybe like the first 25 or so quest cards. And same thing with the, I think, well, I mean, there's not as many adventure cards, but you probably could do something similar as well where you don't take all of them, because it's going to take you a while just to play like that first and second week. So you won't really need all of the components until later. So you may be able to, save a little bit of room if you do that. All right. And then this one here is, I believe this is the stack here for all the adventure cards. Someone asked recently about relics. So relic cards are basically the puzzle type quests where you're going to do like a puzzle before you play the quest. If you have no interest in doing puzzles at all, then technically you can just remove any of the adventure cards that say, that have an R at the beginning.
Yes, let me just say something about
Sure.
the relic quests. It's not just the puzzles, the lockpick puzzles that come in the CD book. The quest itself is like a puzzle that you must to do other things than just. Then of course no quest is just to kill the villains, as you can see, but this is especially a little more complicated to solve the other things than kill the enemies. So if you don't like to play some more complicated quests or more quests that require some other things, there are other complications, then you shouldn't choose the relic quests. But many people are playing these quests and are liking, so it's not that complicated. But in theory, it's more complicated than the regular quests. So beware to only choose these quests if you really want to have puzzles before the quest on the journal and during the quest. So it's important. These are the relics. I think there are 5 relics adventure during the campaign that you may choose to go to this path or not. You have other options, but it's up to you.
Okay. So next up here in the storage, both of these sections. So this section here is full of all of the attack cards, just the different levels of them, right? So you're going to have role specific attack cards for, commander, bruiser, brute, shooter, commander. All of them will basically be in this stack here because you'll be replacing your own attack cards with that later. So you're going to need these a lot. Most of this stack is the same thing. Just below that, though, is some of the specific boss fight cards, which are at the bottom. You're not going to probably use these a lot from what I've seen, right? Unless you're running off to play individual quests on their own. But, eventually you'll get to a part in the campaign where you'll use that. So you can potentially kind of, move them off to the side as well if you want, because you won't use them. And I don't know, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong. As far as we've gotten, we haven't run into any of the, like these special boss cards at the bottom yet.
Oh, it will take time to face a boss.
Yeah. So you could save those for later. Just because, we do expect people to spend quite a bit of time playing the campaign, so you're not going to use everything right at the beginning. Okay, and then this next stack here, I think is actually pretty close to what the original deck comes in. So this is all of the items. So I have all of the starters, and then level 1. Do I have 2s? I think I have them split up by like their types, but I didn't do like the next level. So they're still split up, but it's like all the level 1 armors are together and starters. And then in the next stack, I believe is the level 2s. And they're all, using the dividers here that are already here. All level 2s. So those are all there. And then the last ones are the level 3s and then the legendaries. So there was some question. There was a question that I actually saw today that I thought was a good one, because I don't remember specifically, even off the top of my head, for any of like the legendary attack cards. I think it's called like Legendary Strike and Legendary Ray. How do those get used, Alex?
Buff Legendary replace an attack level 1. So you can, for example, you can have one level 1, one level 2, one level 3, and one the Legendary. So, and the item, you don't need to pay to flip. You don't have to open these items. When you get the structure at the maximum level, you can already buy the legendary item. I think the armor and the blade. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Blade. Yeah.
But they follow the normal rules for items?
Yes, exactly the same.
Okay.
So you just can, when you pay the amount to get the item, you can choose a hero to equip this. I think it's a melee hero for the weapon and a ranged hero for the armor.
Okay. Next up here is I have...
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
No, it's there on the card.
Yeah.
The roads that can use.
So next up is I have the skill pads, of course. And then we have the city book, campaign log, the rule book, and then the journal and the quest guide are all right here, which I think is kind of like the standard, or pretty close to how the game actually comes sent. So there really wasn't like a lot I needed to change there. I guess some of the things to point out, because now that we're down here at the bottom of the box, is I did remove any of the hero-specific attacks. Those are all have been moved to the Arena of the Contest box. Any of the PvP-related type of attack cards have all been moved to the Arena of the Contest box. And we'll get to it here in a second. Unfortunately, it is pretty tight here with the spots in this box, so I had to move the loot cards to a separate box as well. And those are actually stored in the, which seems a little kind of crazy, is the legendary box. So I will show that here pretty soon. Make sure I'm putting these back in the best way possible. Okay. My wife's a way better tile storer than I am. So I usually let her handle all the tile storage part. The replacement attack cards, I believe, also got moved to the Arena of the Contest box. All right, so it looks like there's you want to answer a couple questions that are in the chat, Alex, while I'm kind of switching here?
I'm seeing a question. During the adventure, an NPC gave me a torch token, but it was not asked about it. Maybe based on our choices, it didn't use. No, you don't keep for the next adventure. You just eliminate them when you finish. Because it could be based on some decisions you could have, it could be used. So if they didn't use it, you don't keep for the next adventure. These tokens, the idea is they just to track some decisions or something that happened. The idea behind this is you can remember, oh, that NPC have this outcome, for example. Oh, he gave me something. It's just for remember. In theory, you couldn't even if you wish you don't need to use any of these tracking tokens. It's just to help you to remember, but you don't keep them for the other adventure. And about the legendary, I have another question here. Um,
It was,
why?
do you have to
Yes.
sacrifice a level 3 for the legendary weapon?
No, no. Yes, yes. You have to sacrifice a level 3. You don't need paying the costs, but you don't need to pay the cube to open this item. Um, Let me see the why just ranged and melee? Why you don't have buff armor and weapon, then legendary armor and weapon for buff melee and ranged? Yes, we wanted to have only four for only four legendary. So the ranged one. Imagine a group of two ranged and two melees. Then one we're gonna have the legendary ray and the legendary armor, and the other the legendary weapon and the legendary strike. So this was the thing. We didn't want to. Uh, you have everything from legendary to create some. Oh, it's the legendary. Just a few that have, and even for reasons for balance, we didn't want to people to have all because they are stronger than the regular attacks. And I have some other quests here.
So there was a question
About the search. Yes, we are thinking something. We can soon we'll have some news, but we are just studying the best way to solve this problem.
Let's see. Someone asked, when campaigning solo, is it best to play with a few? I think they made comrades, or and just one hero, or play a few heroes. A little confused on the question, but I think that's what they're asking.
Yes, officially, you have only, if you are playing solo, you have only one hero and three comrades. So this is the main rule. But you don't have to. If you can control more full heroes, there is no reason to not do this. But of course, it's easier to play if you have only one hero and three comrades, because comrades is much more simple to control. But there is no mechanical reason that you could not use more full heroes if you wish. It's just a recommendation for simplicity. So we know solo you have to keep track some of things. So this is the standard way, but for only for simplicity.
All right. So there's a question: do the ranged and melee property of the weapons actually affect anything? Several NPCs let you use weapons of any type, but none of that actually affects the type of attack a hero makes.
Yes, some NPCs can make some changes, and it's very good for combos. I think you see if, for example, you have some attack that whenever a hero gains a mana cube, you deal 3 damage on another villain, for example. Then you get an item that, oh, when you use this you get mana cube, so you can make some interesting combos on using the items, and some NPCs help on it, but they don't change the property, so it's melee, it's ranged. Nah, I think because I don't know why. Maybe there is some reason that we didn't create some NPCs like this, but I maybe it could break some parts. I don't know. Uh, but I think there is no NPC that can change. Oh, your attacks are gonna be melee or ranged. I think there
Yeah.
is no.
Okay, let's move on to my Arena the Contest storage idea. Like I said, you don't have to do it this way. This is just an idea that I've come up with. So going to Arena the Contest box. First thing that is noticeable, or well, may or may not be noticeable in this box, is everything that is used for Arena the Contest campaign but is not used for Tanares Adventures has been removed from the box. The reason I did that is because there's just not enough room to condense it down this way. The only way to do it is to move out everything for Arena the Contest campaign and just store it, either in a separate box. Right now, since I am an original campaign backer, I have the original trays which I'm using and just storing. But that's also because I've played through the entire campaign multiple times and I'm not going to be playing it anytime soon. So that is why I've done it this way. So for you, playing, and if you haven't played it, then maybe this may not work for you. But like I said, this is just something that's worked for me. Okay, so I have the game board here, main rulebook, quick start guide. The rulebook you don't necessarily need the rulebook, but I think sometimes it, provides potentially, everything should be in the Tanares Adventures rulebook, but there could be a few little, like especially some token things that might be missing that might help. But I think I could probably remove that one as well. But I just left it in here. Next up is the first tray for here. So another thing that did get moved was all of the city buildings are moved into this tray. I have a lot of the player aid cards right here. And then basically all of the hero type of ability cards are in here. Of course, all my core box characters. Then any of more tokens that you could use, right? Here's like the hex tray tokens are all there. And so that is tray 1. Okay. Then you'll notice this big stack that I put it here. 2 reasons. One, I just got it like yesterday, so I'm still trying to figure out the best way to handle these. But these are the plastic token bundle, and I may be able to show it more in detail. But how I stored these right now is pretty much everything that's for like villain characters and campaign stuff is all in this bag. And then hero specific type things, like if you just want to do PvP, is in this bag. But you would still need like this blue token, and especially any of the some of the other circular hero tokens in there to do it. But you can get away with one of these. All right, and then of course core dragon there as usual. All right, in the second tray we have more hero attack cards because there is a lot. I do have a few tiles just because there is a lot of extra tiles here in the bottom tray. So I put some of these up here. Here is the special tokens. You're going to need to use at least one of these in some quests for Tanares Adventures. So it's good to have on hand. Like I said, I had just got the plastic token bundle, so I could theoretically move these as well. We have fate cards here, which are used in some quests. Flask cards, which are used in some quests as well. And yeah, sorry to somebody that said the camera is flipped. If I did it the other way, then it would look backwards to you guys as well. So I'm just doing it this way for now. So anyway, then we have all the other hero attacks under there, and then all the core villains. Now remember, there's a lot of miniatures that come in the Tanares Adventures box, which are awesome to use. But you can use a lot of these core characters as like proxy characters, especially if you already have it like painted or ready to go. Sometimes it's a little like quicker if you're going to do it that way, but you don't have to, of course, and use all the cool, super new, awesome miniatures for that. And then there's a legendary box, which adds even more. Okay, down here at the bottom is a lot of the tiles. You know, we have more of the miniatures, chests. We have the prisoners, the orbs, and then yeah, some of the Tanares tokens I think got moved in here as well. Unfortunately, it's not super well organized here. I could probably spend a lot more time going through this if I really wanted to, but I did not. Anyway, so then we have even more portals and stuff, which you could probably move some of these out. Like, you're not going to use as many portals as there is. Although I think that might just be because I'm an original campaign backer and then got that legendary box storage upgrade. So you got additional portals. So that may not be the case for everybody on that. Next up is even more hero attack cards. To clarify, it's literally every single hero in the entire game that is in all of these trays. That's why there's so many attack cards. So every single one between the penumbral pack, legendary box, core box, Tanares Adventures, all of those hero attack cards are basically split up through this box. That's why it takes up so much room. And then the items here below are for the, I believe it's called the penumbral arena. Maybe Alex could talk about this. There's two different things in here. There's the like penumbral arena and then the chi battle cards.
Yes, these are alternative game modes to play PvP. Chi battle is that came with the ninja.
Yes.
When you unlock this, is a way to play PvP using the mana cubes. So you can interfere on the turns of your enemies. So it's different way to play PvP. When you already played a lot and you want to create some, let's try this different game mode. It's a very interesting way to play PvP. Of course, it's more complicated because we added these elements, but it's good when you already are familiar with the PvP mechanics. And the penumbral arena is different too because you have some global modifier. So okay, for now all lava deals more damage. So now you have to create some teams that you want to throw the enemies on lava. So this is another different gameplay that you can dash on PvP. It's fun because when you already play many matches, you may want to have something different.
Yeah.
But all these items came on penumbral box.
So anyway, so the focus of the arena, the contest box now has been changed to storing the hero cards. And with that, there's a lot of the PvP related things. So if you wanted to go a PvP route, you could as well. But to do that, and you guys will see here in a second once I go into the legendary box, you're going to need both of those for that. So, and I did actually recently change that. I had a different solution before. And then changed it. I changed my mind a lot on how I'm storing things. Okay.
Yes. Let me see other
Yeah, you
questions.
do some questions while I'm shifting here.
Okay. There are other questions that people ask it. For example, if we have more than one enemy of the same color, how can we keep track on them? For example, I have the specter and the vampire red, and how can I know the if the HP is from the specter or for the vampire? You can use the rounded and hexagonal bases and tokens, so you can easily keep track. And so, oh, now if the monster have the hexagonal base, you can use the hexagonal token to keep track of its HP, and the same goes to the rounded base. So you can easily know which one has the specific HP. We try to never put some three enemies of the same color. I think they only there it happens only once during the all campaign. It's because we didn't want to. Then of course it's okay, but then you may if this happen. I think only one question this will happen. Then you put one of them. You don't put the bases, so you can keep track. But it's not the it's only happen only once if you play this quest. So if you use the hexagonal and rounded base, you are good to. It's very easy to know. Um, can I use Tanaris content
Hey,
in
can you
Arena?
turn on your camera real quick while you're answering questions?
Let me see. Yes, I'm here. So, can I use Tanaris content in Arena? The heroes you can use. There is no problem to use the heroes. But Tanaris has a different system for Arena. So you can't use the skills and it not be good to play like this. Um, Another question: should I play Tanaris Adventure or Arena first? Yeah, this question depends on what do you want. For example, if you are already familiar with the dungeon crawlers, and maybe Tanaris is better because the mechanics in Tanaris is better. It's more fun. It's but Tanaris but Arena is easier to start. So it's very simple and maybe if you are not too familiar to dungeon crawlers, then you should start to Arena and then add Tanaris when you finish the campaign. It's about 6 quests that you can. Of course, you have about 15 quests, but you're gonna only do 6 quests on the campaign based on your choices on Arena. Then when you finish Arena, you can start Tanaris, and then you're gonna have many dozens of quests to play. But if you already are familiar with Dungeon Crawler, then maybe Tanaris it has a better mechanic and a real feeling of the campaign. The journal in Tanaris we try to make it very dynamic. So you always have to choose the path. You have many decisions that you make during the journal. So the texts are not too long before they ask for some decisions. And you have to be careful even to choose your quest or your adventure and with these decisions because the end game and even the quests are heavily impacted by your decisions. So imagine, of course, the situation is you are heroes, but you cannot be at all places at all time at a single time. So you have to make choices. For example, the first choice is, oh, there is an undead problem on a forest, but there is some they are having problem to deliver some supplies to our city. Should I go to see the problems of undead, or should I keep our city safe from starving and other things. Then, and the problem that you didn't solve, it can have impact, and what you solve it too. So you have to make decisions. There is not you cannot have everything. So this is an interesting part of the game. You're gonna shape your campaign based on your decisions, and they matter for the quest and for the during the campaign. We're gonna ask for facts. Oh, did you are your city starved or not? For if you gain this fact, then for example, you're gonna have an extra enemy because the soldier that would hold this enemy is already dead. So this is the interesting part of this game, and you have to make choices. So if you don't play Oceanic War, for example, you're gonna have to deal with what happens if you don't play. But if you let the chemistry open the portal, you have to deal with this, and you have to. There is no easy choice, but you have to think carefully to choose. And this is it. Let me see other questions. Natural lab, special ability, handle, or you choose the loot card when you exchange. It seems like it's powerful, but you spend cubes on there, so you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, that's one of my
What are
favorite
the
city phase or city special abilities there because it's very, very helpful to get exactly what you need.
Yes, it's important. Okay, what are the hero pads for and hero cards? Yes, this is one change we made for from arena. When you play PvP or arena campaign, you're gonna use the hero pad for the hero. But in fact, the hero pad has the attacks. It's a copy for the cards you already have. But during Tanares, you're gonna change this card. So there is no reason to use the hero pad. So what did you do? We put the information of the hero pad already on the skill. So you have this and your attack cards. And the hero card is every hero has a different passive power effect. Passive power is the same trigger for the same combat role. For example, the brute always will trigger if you attack a villain that has no other. If you don't have any ally adjacent to the villain. So all brutes trigger this like this, but the effect is different based on your hero. So it's good to match better your gameplay or even to create some combos. And this is the reason we have Chemistry Hunt 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if you create good combos, your party may become very powerful. So you can just the game will not be easier. You just level up the Chemistry Hunt and you're good to play a challenging game. And the Chemistry Hunt is interesting to make the difficulty perfect to you. So if you are comfortable playing Chemistry Hunt 0, go ahead and play this level of difficulty. And I think I'm thinking it's too easy 0. You can increase one, getting one loot card per chemistry hunt level, so it's good. It's a reward, but it's more challenging. So the idea is, so the game will never be gonna be easy for you.
It's
You
a
always have
very
to overcome.
dynamic system, so you can
Yes,
really kind of tailor your difficulty level to your team, which I think is really
yes,
what's greatest about it. Is sometimes in some games when you try to upgrade the difficulty, it's like, okay, well, you got to remove all these things, and it's sometimes a bit of a quite a step, right, between an easy and a medium, or a normal and a hard, versus like the Kemet system. You move up one level between 2 and 3, you're getting maybe one more villain on the board, so it makes it a little bit harder, but not exponentially harder.
yes. And this is the idea for chemistry hunt because we are checking all BGG comments about difficulty levels, and we, of course, the people usually play on normal difficulty. It's very hard to let me start already on the harder or insane difficulty. But the chemistry hunt makes this very natural. So you get more villains that are already on the map with stars, and then you get additional loot. So it's a trade. So it's more difficult, but I have more loot. So you have to think if you wanna go up or not. And there is no problem. You can play all the campaign Chemistry Hunt Zero and with absolutely no problem. So this is the interesting part. It makes the difficulty perfect. So I'm seeing a question here about if there is an NPC that allow you to equip two weapons instead of uh, one weapon and one armor, or even some perks that
Yeah,
allow
that's
you to
the
do that.
Dragon Blade
Yes,
NPC.
yes. And if you have this, you can use both weapons at the same time. There is no reason to not use. So imagine that I use this weapon to deal uh, plus 5 damage, and again, if you have two weapons, there is nothing that stop you from use at the same round at the same attack. So you can use both.
All right,
Uh,
let me jump back to going through the legendary box, and then I think we'll be able
okay,
to, you know, finish through some of the questions that we have here.
okay,
All right. So coming back here to my storage solution here is so the legendary box is also part of this kind of combination. I'd say it's less of a part, but that's also depending on which characters you need. So it is possible to potentially just kind of ignore this one. Unfortunately, the only thing that I struggled with was the loot cards, finding a good spot for those. So first off, you'll see all of the hero pads in the entire game are here. So it is really set up for PvP as well. In Tanares Adventures, you won't use these at all. So really, there's no reason to worry about these ones if you're just doing Tanares Adventures. But that is where they are currently all stored. And then you'll see this is the normal tray. I'll mention here about the extra slots. So down here are the extra slots. These 4 characters right here are from the original Arena of the Contest campaign, and those are the original miniatures. Those ones did not even have a slot originally in the campaign. So the good thing about the legendary box storage here is now they can at least be put in something. Even if I don't intend to use these ones, I mean, you could still use them for, you know, whatever you want, of course. But at least there's a spot and they're not just like floating in a bag. Then you'll see we have Medusa down here. So if you want Medusa, you'd be coming to this box. And then here is the, what is it? Dragon Avatar, I believe. And then we have all the other characters normally here. Still in the process of painting through all of those. So I do have one extra spot here on that tray still to do something with. And really most of this is actually kind of standard storage. Like this is, you know, the official storage for the legendary box. So these are all the villains that you can use in the Tanares Adventures campaign as well, or Arena of the Contest, either one. And then down here we have all the walls, of course, and the Balroth switches, doors, all that. The only thing I couldn't really get a great spot on, maybe I can, you know, try going at it another time, was the loot cards, just because the sleeves do add some size, and this really was the best spot, and they seem to stay pretty safe there, as just kind of filling this extra spot. Now this extra spot is where my Hydra would normally go. The reason why that spot's open is because my wife has painted the Hydra, and so we have, you know, I display all of our really nice, especially arena painted miniatures out, and you guys may have seen them in some of my previous videos. So that's the reason why I have this spot. So that's another reason as why this may not work for everyone. I will see if there's like another good idea of where to put the loot cards. They may actually still fit in the bottom of the Arena of the Contest box. But based on what I have, this is the best way that I could store everything. Now, there's one little caveat here is if you want characters that came from any of the hero packs. Oh, look, I guess I put some of the bosses in here too, which I could technically just move all of these to the extra storage for all the other Arena of the Contest stuff because I won't be using this boss pad. So that would actually save me a little more space. Is the caveat is that, yeah, if you want all of the class heroes, like from classes pack, villain pack, everything that goes in that penumbral pack storage, which I'm going to move here now, you'd actually have to come to this box just for that miniature. So unfortunately, if you want one of those, there's not really a great other solution unless you come up with a different miniature solution currently. So this is the penumbral pack storage. So you got Garen and Gazzini and a bunch of the other characters here already stored. So you just pull out those miniatures for if you're going to use that hero in your campaign, and then that's pretty much it. But everything else beneath it, all of this is only used for the Time Twist campaign. So you won't use this unless you're playing that campaign. So that's the way I've stored it. In fact, that's why it's even a little awkward, because there's extra space in here because I wanted this box to not have any of the other items unless it's for the Time Twist campaign. So you got villain cards and then the item cards. Basically, these are stored, I think, as the box actually comes. So you have like the smaller Euro size cards down here, and then I believe these are called the gold sized right there. Anyway, and then of course the last box is complete. These are basically kind of optional unless you're really going to use a certain hero there. And then the last one is, and there's not really too much special about this. This is just the scenario pack. So if I want my terrain to build my maps, it's as the box actually comes. So I could pull those out, and if I have room, I can kind of just store them off, and then I don't need the scenario pack box really at all. But that one's the super optional. You don't really need that one much at all. So it's pretty much down to 2/3, depending on which heroes you want to play. But that is my storage solution. I don't know about you guys, how you're storing it, but let us know in the comments what you guys are doing. You want to keep going with questions, Alex?
Okay, let me. Here, I see a question.
Turn your camera back on too.
Yes, I see a question. I don't like the Kemet Hunt, the first one to take off one of the special attacks of the hero. So if I can play using the two instead of one, you can. There is no unbalance. You're gonna be okay. So if you prefer, you can do it with no problem at all for the game. And even on the support document, we created the Kemet Hunt 6, so you can even replace the 5/6 if you wish. I'll try. to make the Madness and Dragon box available. We will. We are just studying the best way, but we will have news soon about it. Many people are asking for the penumbral box, for the Gold Dragon, for Madness box, Dragon collection, and we will make them available soon. We just have to decide something to be faster to be available. Can I get my pledge here on the Dragoris? No, because it came from China. It's the same time it will come here on the office and or be at your house. So there is no reason to.
It's not like you guys aren't getting any boxes sent to the
Yes,
Dragori
yes, we
office, so
don't
there's
have.
no
Imagine.
nobody's
Yes,
getting it
imagine like
faster.
yes, they imagine they are sending to another house on the on the city, so it not be faster for you. And let me see other questions. Now,
I can answer the question about the Kemet hunt. So you go from 1 to 5, 5 being the hardest difficulty, which also removes all of the chests on the board, which basically prevents you from getting more healing. But so you go from lower to higher, and that's how the progression works.
lower to higher. And the number, for example, Kemet Hunt 5, you get 5 loot cards plus the quest. So, of course, it's much more difficult and you may lose the quest. So, you have to. And even we create some safeguards. For example, you can only upgrade your Kemet Hunt if you did a good quest. So, if you use first aid or chests, you cannot upgrade. So, you have to be good at the quest to be able to upgrade. This prevents you from put the Kemet hunting in that super high level and not have fun with the difficulty. So we try to make this safeguard to just to try to okay, you're gonna have more fun with this difficulty. Of course, if you wish to try, so let me try at the 5 and okay, but we try to on the rules to put this safeguard. What are the loot cards? You have to spend loot cards to buy items or even upgrade your structure. So you have these new cards.
Quickly show it here on the camera so you can see it as well. But this is example of where is it? There it is. Loot cards. So you got gems and then iron, and then there's also a wood and a gold. So these are used to upgrade, buy things in the city phase.
About the delivery that people are asking, delivery it's moving, but it's slower. For example, when we have only when the shipping company have only Tanares Adventures to send, they only put it on a box and go. But to assemble the orders, it took 10 times more because you have to see all the available products, including painted and non-painted, and select the correct one, and make some Tetris on the box to fit everything and protect the items and send. So it spends about 10 times than just pick up a box and put on the big box and send. So they must be careful to create the orders. If they don't, they cannot guarantee the things go correctly. So things are slower now, but they are changing. They are things are going. So it's not stopped. They are, but it takes time. For example, if they took a week for sending, or it took 5 days to send, they're gonna take 5 weeks, more than 50 days to send everything. So it's slower, but they are going. They will. Everyone will receive everything with this window about 1.5 months. Things are going. Um, the problem is, I asked them to send already the Tanares Adventure box, so we'll be able to already check the rules and paint some miniatures. I think it's best to receive something before and then something later, because the alternative is just to receive everything later, because trust me, there are many products. If they speed up, they will gonna make mistakes, and this would be the problem. Or delivery things broken, or uh, wrong items to many people. So I prefer the safety. Okay,
And just
go
to
ahead, Sam.
clarify something too on that is I know, some people have said like in chat or, Facebook or Discord of, oh, I'm receiving broken things. Well, remember, we're sending to thousands of people and you're only seeing the people that usually have problems. The amount of times that we get the messages that say, "Hey, I got everything and nothing was broken," seems to be
Yes,
much more rare than the situations of people having
of course.
problems. So keep that in
Yes,
mind that when you're looking at social media, you're kind of looking a little bit of a biased view of what's going on sometimes in the campaign. Even things for delivery itself. Like I've seen people say, "Oh, nobody in the UK is getting it." Well, you can still see a lot of people in even in some of the Discord or Kickstarter comments of saying that they have got it, but just from when you looked, maybe you didn't see those messages, or if it you've seen a couple other people asking. So just keep that in mind that social media it's great, but it has its problems of sometimes giving a biased view of what's actually happening.
yes, yes. We know, for example, you receive the miniature, a broken miniature. Some people may be concerned. So, oh, will they replace? I don't have a broken miniature. I understand, and of course, we will replace everything that is broken. Don't worry about this. They are just taking time to send, because we are just finishing the deliveries before. Even because they, when you receive more items, there may be some other thing not correctly. So we want to make sure everyone gets the all nothing broken. So we of course will work on it as we did before, and there are absolutely no
And of
problems.
course,
That's
if you
just it.
have problems, email
Yeah. Yes.
contact@dragorigames.com. So that's the process. You take a picture of your broken miniatures, or it doesn't even have to be miniatures, right? It could be box or whatever component that is damaged, and take a picture of those and then send those to contact@dragorigames.com, and they will get to it. Now, I know the team is busy. I asked, I think on Thursday last week, they said that they're about a week or so on getting tickets, which I think Alex said he was going to help with tickets this week. So we'll try to get a bunch of those quicker if we can.
Yes. In Europe, we have there they are sending too. It's lower now because now they are assemble things. But of course, if you have 50 people that receive this week and another 50 that receive another week, and then they are trying to figure out how to speed up the process. But the main goal is send the correct items as protected as you can. So of course we don't have direct contact to the shipping company on Europe, because we are in contact to Gamerati. So, but of course they report to us, and we are every meeting. We want to know what is happening, and even saying, oh, please let's try to speed up things. But um, as we know, and as they are talking, they are saying. So of course this week on the meeting I will ask for reports, and then be even more close. We are already every day we are trying to speed up here, but from our end, what all we can do is please go. But they, of course, they have the logistics, and they need to make sure they will deliver the correct items at the good in a good shape. So this is the main goal, and just a few weeks, everyone will gonna have everything from the order. Okay, they are sending.
Let's get back
Up,
to some of the commonly asked questions.
Okay.
And if we have more delivery type stuff, maybe we can do it by the end. I just don't want to spend too much time doing that one since I know it was not even a focus of this stream.
Yes, we're gonna.
So I think the last one was talking about the ninja and how does the ninja character work in Tanares Adventures?
It's the same as this hero is different because you can change the combat role, but in fact it's the same thing because uh, that could be a when I flip the attack of the ninja, it's an attack of other role, but you will consider the attack's usage. So is you're gonna use the attack for your combat robot that you are currently, but no problem. You when you use, you just flip it. So it happens as the same as the other, just using the different rule of the ninja. But I think I'm gonna make a clarification so I can put the details. I think it's best.
There was a
Uh,
question about balance considerations for when you are upgrading to the next gear and you have to, destroy or turn in your previous gear for that.
Yes, because if you don't have to destroy the previous gear, you can just skip some gear. And for example, I will rush the siege structure, so I don't have to get a level 1 weapon, and then I already start to get the level 2,
Yeah.
and then it could affect the balance of the loot
Well,
card.
and it saves
So
a lot of resources if you don't have to do that, right? If you didn't have to
yes,
buy the previous ones, it's like a tiered thing. So if you have to buy all the previous ones and then turn that in for more resources, then it's a lot more than if you went all the way to the end and just bought level threes.
yes, and in the end, it could not be fun because you could think, oh, let me save my loots for get uh, higher levels first. But then you play many quests with no upgrades on items. So in the end, it could not be that fun. So I think it's best to avoid this exploit because it could really mess with the loot cards and make okay you can get your item you need to get so okay get your item so you can have fun on the next quest, you see, because it could induce people to oh let me save money, you see.
So, to answer the question about the ninja for the war phase, I believe it says in the rule book that specifically a time twist rule book where all the ninja rules are talked about is she's not usable in the city phase or war phase, I believe. So you
Yes,
just
it's
remove
not.
her card during those phases.
Yes, you
It's
remove
only
because you
yeah.
couldn't use because it has no back, so it could not be used properly. So we prefer to just remove him. It's a special hero, but it has its own. So you can pay for it during the city phase if you wanna get this hero, and then you use it only during your adventures.
So to answer the question here about why we're suggesting playing Tanares Adventures first, and Alex, you can add on here. But in terms of like the story aspect, the summary is actually provided at the beginning of the Tanares Adventures campaign. So if you are not haven't played Arena of the Contest first, you're just getting into it, you don't have to worry about completely missing everything from the campaign. There's a lot of things in there. Now, obviously, not every part of the campaign is talked about, but the high level parts of the narrative are discussed. And then you can talk about the why we suggest Tanaris Adventures first.
Yes, eh, the arena the contest system is easier to learn. It's more simple. So, but we understand many people that are already familiar to dungeon crawler. They prefer to use a more refined system, and then there is no reason to start with arena if you don't want to, because you already have the main topics of the stories. and then you can go. So go directly to Tanares. But Arena is a short campaign, so you don't. Of course, you have the store there, but you can play it after you play the Tanares Adventures. If you wish to play Arena the contest, you can play as a prologue. Oh, let me see what happened in the past. Because of course the system on Tanaris for PvE is much better than Arena. So it's more fun. Of course, if you wish to play at least one quest for any of the contest to see how it's work, there is no problem. But it's you don't have to. Just a clarification, I said 50 bucks per week per day, but it's not. I don't have the precise number. You see, just an example. When I say it, so just so it's not.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, I'm sorry, but as I say, Tanaris Adventures, you're gonna start a campaign that, of course, you can play for months. And even when you finish your campaign, you have in the realms of madness is the epilogue of a possible future if something happens. Then you have time to wish. And if you want to restart the campaign, you can play only different quests. So this is the interesting part. You can never play the same quest you already played, and this is one big thing of the game that the team here. I'm very happy that we could do this. Is every single quest is different, is really different one another. So it's not just a matter to kill monsters. You always have some challenging to think differently. How can you do things? So this is one of the good things of the game that you will never play the same quest twice. So
Yeah.
even if you restart to play, you have different quests and different gameplay. Even if there is no other rules, but different gameplay. So you can really play this game for
Yeah, an
months.
example of one that we played recently that we really enjoyed, which I think is called Darkness. It's quest number 56. It's a quest where when you spend your mana cubes, they don't just go to the side, they actually go to like a corrupted zone. And then you're able to use those that mana later as level 3 skills, and it doesn't even have to be ones that you have already assigned tokens to. And you can just use those on following the same skill rules as usual, but spending those. Now there is the downside that you're going to take 9 damage doing it, but sometimes it's super powerful to be able to use those. But that's just an example of one aspect of you get that cool buff, and that's not even all of it. There's also you have to be moving the mission tiles and staying on there, because if you go outside of that area you're taking damage, and it's just a unique quest part of that specific quest. It's just as an example.
Yes, this I you see the game took longer than we expected. Of course, we have COVID and many other things, but um, I would like to make sure here with the team that we really each quest you must feel like you are playing a different challenge. Even you don't have to learn new rules for the game, but it took time to make things that work good. But at least now you can when you play you're gonna see this interesting part of the game. So you have a game that you can play, even play again, play differently with no single question. Of course, the tutorial, but you can, of course, uh, just pretend you play the tutorial again. But every single question different. So I think you can.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point to note about the tutorial is you can skip it and just
No.
what was that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
The first time you cannot skip. Sorry,
Sure. Yeah. The,
but
the first
then
time, yeah. The idea is you play it the first time to know what's happening and how to play the game. But
yes,
future can
yes, yes,
playthroughs, you can just skip that part and then
yes,
just kind
yes,
of
yes.
move on to the next part.
Of course,
and of course, you know, get the rewards that would be attached to that, and your decisions for that.
yes.
Um,
So
so couple other questions here. I don't think you went over the hero attack card replacements yet, right?
yes, the hero replacement is was made to. There are some heroes that have attack that didn't work well on PV. For example, oh, I will remove a special attack from a hero, but the villains don't have special attack, so this attack would be useless. So whenever we saw an attack that didn't work, we created a replacement for Tanares. So there is no fixed number. Some heroes don't have, many heroes don't have any attacks. Some heroes have one, others two, or even three, because we have to make sure every hero could work for the new system. So you have some new attacks that you see in the symbol T on the attack. For example,
Yeah, I was gonna
Talon,
see if I could pull out one of the cards just so people could see it.
Yes.
Yeah, here's one here from Ustar the Necromancer. Just to clarify too, the complete list of all the hero attack card replacements are on page 75 of the Tanares Adventures rulebook. So if you're not sure which cards have it, that's where you can see it. Okay, so coming up here, you'll notice up here on this corner here, it's actually the top left, but this is a mirrored version here. It has TA, and that is for Tanares Adventures, and this is his card. And that's how you know this is a replacement card. So don't. I've seen a couple of people saying, "Do I need to throw away the card?" Do not throw away your other cards. You still can use those for PvP, and they can be used in Arena the Contest. It's just specifically for Tanares Adventures. These cards are for.
Just Tanares Adventure. PvP, you can use the original cards, and you don't have to change anything for PvP. But this is for Tanares Adventures. For example, remove a special attack on PvP. It's very good, but don't work on Tanares. So we create this, and even some rules. For example, I saw some questions about when I attack two villains, if one of them already retaliate and other don't, will this one retaliate? And the rule is the first villain that didn't retaliate, because if you could if you didn't include this, you could exploit. So in the end, it would be exploit. I will always attack the one that already acted, so I can prevent them from acting. So we try to cover this to make the game more fun. So
I know another one that also gets asked a lot is does using skills from a skill pad trigger a retaliation?
yes, on the rule book we say only it will retaliate after they took an attack or effect during a primary action from a hero.
Yeah. So just to clarify, the answer is no, they will not retaliate from skills.
No.
I know this one comes up quite often from people that have been playing so far, and so good one to clarify there.
Yes. Only when you attack a hero on your primary action.
Let's see. There is a question, something I didn't understood about destroying items you talked about previously, but on page 51, step 3, it says you can't sell or reduce cost to purchase a new one. Have I missed something?
Destroying items is the errata, because you can check on the errata that you need to destroy. For example, you're gonna buy a level 3 attack, you need to destroy the same type of level 2. So
yeah, it's specifically we put it in the errata because that part was missed.
Yes, because it would harm the loot card system. So we thought it's best to have to destroy the attack and the attack, sorry, the item, and then you can get the others. So we can make sure you get the level 1 and level 2 and level 3 and at the right time. So when you have the building of the structure on level 2, for example, I think 2 or 3, that you can get an item and you can get the item. You don't have to think, oh, let me spare my loot cards until I get the level 6, so I will not spend, because in the end it will not be fun. But some people may think, oh, but it's best for the game to optimize the so having this errata prevents from this way to play that could be correctly to optimize the resources. So
Okay, so actually, we're getting near the end of our list of the commonly asked questions, but before we kind of finish going through those, we do actually have some questions to you guys. So if you have the game, maybe you haven't even gotten to play through everything, but I think quite a few people have at least gotten Tanares Adventures or Arena the Contest and have been able to at least look at components, even if they don't have everything yet. But like, who is your favorite hero or team composition that you guys have been playing so far? I'll say that for us, it's really hard to decide on specific ones. We kind of rotate around a lot. It just depends on, especially in the Tanares Adventures campaign, you can build different team compositions with different items and build up a strategy based on that. Maybe your strategy is trying to generate as many mana cubes as you can, so that way you can keep putting out a lot of skills that will do more damage or prevent damage. There's there's a lot of different build options. One that I'm really excited to try, which I haven't yet, is the temporary effect build, where you try to place as many temporary effects and then you get additional bonus and healing or damage based on that. That's one of the most exciting ones that I'm really want to play through.
yes, and even some items. There are some combos or even idea for attacks for flip attacks is interesting because there are heroes or effects that makes you flip an attack. It's good for two things. When you flip all attacks, you regain a use of an item. So when you have the unflip, you unflip all your attacks and an item. So you will speed up the use of the item. But there are another interesting thing that you can make. When you flip an attack, of course you can flip your weakest attack. So you can keep doing the strongest attacks you have and benefit from the item. So it's a good combo to have. So you can use the combo for mana cubes that's very good. You can use the some combos for flipping attacks. You can try to do as damage as you can, so you can kill faster an enemy. You can have even the combos for temporary attacks, even for healings. So you have many ways to play the game and try to create a build and a good combination for heroes.
And that's what I
And you
think
can
gives a
even
lot of replayability too,
yes,
because besides there is a ton of quests, of course, but like just even kind of playing through some of the quests with different teams could be a completely different experience depending on like those builds or which hero and hero combinations you're going with.
yes. And there are many other combos for reposition the heroes. You can try to the villains. You can try to move off them and make another attack and a blast. So you have many ways to play, and even if you can find some very strong strategies, or even no, I want to play the game with a balanced team, not worrying about the super combos. You can absolutely play in any way because the chemistry hunt can be the right level of difficulty for you. So you can play the way you wish. So you don't have to, if, oh, I want to make the perfect combination. Oh no, I want to have fun just trying to, oh, Hurricane, for example, Taran is my hero, so I want to play with Taran, get not working on combos. You can do healing combos with Taran, but if you don't want to, no problem. So this was what we thought when we created the Climate Hunting.
And just as a good plug here is for on our Discord we have the Hero Compendium, which is the I think it's now called the Tanares Compendium, that has all of the heroes listed, and it has like their effect listed in there for how it's used in PvE, as well as a little bit of lore on the character and then some stats. So, you know, maybe you just want to look through there. You're not sure, you know, maybe it's a fun way to kind of get your players engaged to play, you know, the week before. You send them like, you know, the list of heroes and be like, ooh, which heroes are you guys excited to play? Which one do you want me to get ready?
Yeah.
So let's see. There's a question. Somebody wanted to talk about the sleeve thickness and the change from the original sleeves, I believe, is what he's talking about. And then also the fact that the bigger sleeves for the hero pad / boss pad are too snug.
Yes, the thickness of sleeve, the manufacturer, I think they just made a, because technically it's a better sleeve if they are thicker. So the manufacturer thought, oh, we're gonna offer a better sleeve, and of course it didn't tell us. So they try to make, because of course thicker is better because it's more durable. But we have this problem on the size, the thickness, so you could not place everything on the box. And we are working on a storage solution here. We are thinking, but you're gonna have more information soon about it.
Yeah. And to clarify too, it's the same manufacturer that we had originally that made the sleeves before, and they were the ones that changed it to the sides and didn't mention
Yeah.
anything about the change in the sleeves.
No. So, and there is some, of course, for example, for Monster, is a gold standard, so it's very easy to get if you wish other sleeves for gold size. But one thing that's work is put on something something warm on the sleeve, so it gets to fit.
So that could be a way to kind of get them to fit. I know it's not all the sleeves that have that issue. It's just I think some of the villain cards
Yes,
specifically.
because the card is perfect. The mini euros and the standards there are thousands. It's good to go. There is no difficulty to put them. But the big sleeves, there some are tight, so you can put something hard, warm. Sorry,
Yeah.
warm.
And I know even when I was sleeving them, even I know it was like difficult at the beginning, but like once you kind of get the flow of it, and it was for me, it was kind of like getting my finger in the sleeve with the card and just kind of pushing it through the sleeve was the best way that I discovered to kind of get them in there very easily. Just because I know some people have had challenges with just trying to get them in, but that's what I did. So you just kind of open the sleeve, you have the card kind of through your fingers like this, and just push them just in the sleeve, and then kind of just slide it with your fingers in, and then it'll hold up. Okay. Let's see what else. A question about the trays. Are there any suggestions to strengthen the TA trays? They came with small cracks, and I'm worried that they won't survive more than a few playthroughs. I don't know if I've seen that yet. I mean, maybe there might be a
Yes.
few cracks in there,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah,
probably
the
could use
thing.
super glue maybe to kind of help strengthen them if you do see a few cracks, maybe as an idea.
Yes, I don't know. I, I will ask the manufacturer what have
Yeah.
they done to this version.
I don't know if I've seen that one yet. So, yeah, we'll ask. Can you talk about the next steps for Dragori about board game? Not talking about the fulfillment of the RPG. Still Tanares like content or another game? I'll let Alex answer that.
Yes, they are already work. The board game team is already working on another board game, and even now we are. Well, we learned a lot from Tanaris. Of course, it was a big monster to to create, but now I think we can make it even better. Learn it for our mistakes, and now we can create something very interesting. And
But
other things
just to
very
clarify
interesting.
too, the RPG is still very much the focus, priority
Yes, the
one of
focus.
getting done.
Yes, we have the full RPG team working on the RPG. So
Yeah. Don't want
it's
anyone
our
thinking
focus.
that everyone stopped or anything.
No, no. On the contrary, me and everyone else, not the specific people for the board game, are working on the RPG, and you already made the play test, the beta test available, and we are getting many interesting feedbacks, and you are already applying them. But the RPG is our focus now. We're gonna finish this, and then we can start talking about the other board game and so.
Okay.
There are two people here that are the board game team that we decided two people are working on the new board game that I think they will be very interesting. But as my focus is on the RPG, so I'm not seeing in details yet. But I think the main mechanic is very interesting to play.
And for people that didn't already know, the player's guide is available if you join the Discord and ask in
Yes.
the RPG channel for getting the beta tester role. And then from there, you're going to go down to the TR. You'll see a new channel that will open up. It's hidden to everyone else until you get that role. Once you see that role, you go down to the general TRPG uh, channel, I believe is what it's called, and the latest version that we have in there, which has already been updated a few times with some of the issues that people have found already, is there, and it's mostly complete. We do have some sections marked as spoiler. Just because, especially with the board game coming out, it does kind of maybe tell you a little too much that could impact the board game. so,
Yes, and even we are refining some text.
yeah, that too.
Yes, and the board gaming process on Tanaris was hard because we try to make everything working good. Because it's interesting, Tanaris. When you see it for the first time, you say, "Oh my God, what can I do?" There are many things to do. But when you start actually to play the game, you see things somehow work and flow, and but to get this level to very deep gameplay and things flow, it's not easy. So we have to remake the game at least 4 times. So, and even the journal, the first thing of the journal would be much more story and much less decisions. But when you test it and see, oh, okay, let's put more decisions, and then we changed the journal. And I think, well, everyone here thinks it's much more fun to play this way. So you can always have decisions and you shape it, even the quest you're gonna play. And but we need to remake it again. This was one of the reasons that took time to finish the game, because we would like to deliver the best experience possible for this game. So um, but it's not easy to put everything together and every yes.
Let's see. So there was a question here. I think this one's really more for me. Is any chosen dates for the new PvP tournament? Yeah, I don't. We haven't determined a new PvP date yet. New PvP tournament date yet, just because one is we have a lot of the focus on the campaign for Tanares Adventures right now, which we're trying to of course wait for people to be able to experience that, right? And we want people to be able to ask their questions and me be able to respond to that. For people that have seen me do the tournaments before, they are a lot of work to do between coordinating people, games, recording, doing rules and everything for it. So it's quite a time sink for me to handle. So we're trying to focus on Tanares Adventures campaign. I'm thinking, we'll kind of see where things kind of place, but maybe late this summer might be a time to potentially do the tournament.
Yes. And I'm anxious to see is when people get to the final question, because it's very good to, it's a very, you have two teams in the situation. I think people enjoy a lot the final question with many acts during the question. But let people get there.
Yeah. We got people finish the game first.
Yes. No, not the final boss, the final super quest.
Yeah.
But yes.
Okay, so there's a few other questions here, and I think I could probably quickly answer some of these. Like, how do your skill tokens go up? They go up at the end of week phase, so after you've played through your 4 quests, then you will play, and the city phases that follow each of those. Then you will play a world phase, and then after that world phase, you will read the city book, and that will tell you some things based on decisions you made and change out some of your adventure cards. But it will also mention about leveling up your skill tokens. And so that's when that happens.
I included it on the new support document on FAQ. But
which I think
yes.
we're going to update and send out here pretty soon, right? Alex, you said
Yes,
it was...
it's already done, so I just need to put on the website.
Okay.
Maybe Monday it will be there.
Okay.
But yes, you play at the end of each week. You're gonna read the city book, and the city book is interesting. You always get some reward, and could not be different on the end of week. You upgrade your skill token, so it's a reward. How do I play the puzzles on city book? There are 2 types of puzzle: lockpick and elemental. Elemental puzzles are some quests asks you to make some elemental puzzles, and the lockpick you play when you play relic quests. Of course, I don't I want to play just to see the the elemental puzzles and try to solve. You can, but not during the campaign. You can do by yourself. But there are quests that require elemental puzzles. And I think this is it, the questions.
Yeah, so those are the commonly asked questions that I was able to go through, Kickstarter, Facebook, Discord, and kind of try to sum up some of the ones I've seen quite often. For people that have been able to play, Arena of the Contest or Tanares Adventures, what are your favorite quests that you guys have played so far? Kind of jumping back here while people are thinking about that last question. I saw there was comments about like heroes and hero combinations. Someone said, I'm really enjoying Anariel and Rurik together. Usually with Avalum and Orthus, we do a black hole Anariel into an AoE skill and or attack from Avalum. Or putting Rurik into the middle of the black hole aftermath to trigger his passive ability a bunch.
It's a good combo.
Yes.
Because you can put all enemies and then blast them with some area attacks. It's very or put everyone together with the tank so you can tank them. It's very good combo. Yeah, there are many interesting combinations you can do. So you you're gonna learn. You're gonna then you can even spend some time in trying to think the best combinations for our heroes. Oh, I can put this and gain heal, and I have this attack. Whenever a hero heals, you get some this effect, and you can.
So someone had a question about, I think it's related to special attacks and first aid. So it said, someone got killed in my group. I play the fallen angel with the revive special. I already played, but not him. Then does he have to use a first aid token and not wait for the next turn? So I think it's the start. I think the rules say it's at the start of his next turn, you have
Yes.
to use a first aid token. So there should be a period of time where you can change the order of your characters. So even if, which I believe you're talking about Zafara, if Zavara has already played, that character dies, the next round you could have Zafara go before that character and do her revive there.
Yes, if the dead hero already played, then it doesn't have any turn in this round anymore. So you can start next round with Zafara and reviving it. But if the hero didn't play and you take turn this round, then you're gonna spend the first aid. The rule is simple. When it's the time of your hero act, if it's dead, you need to spend the first aid token. So you have to think carefully. Oh, should I play? I think it's best not to use Zafar before. You need to, or even Talia or Renkir, people that can resurrect.
So someone's favorite quest, they said, is quest number 33, Tripping Through the Past, only because I left my husband's heroes while behind while mine escaped. And his favorite is the Asmore quest, which I know Cantus there because he loves dragons. So Dragon Blade, Dragon Quest, those are all his
Yeah,
favorite. And he gets to control a dragon in that one, which is pretty cool.
yes. I like this quest. I played.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
we're getting
yeah.
pretty close. Why does the first level of Kemet take away a special? I now have to play the entire campaign with one special attack. Well, we talked about this earlier. You may want to go back in the stream later. You don't have the official rules say that yes, one special needs to be spent. I will say there is kind of a and Alex, feel free to tell me if I'm doing it wrong, but the way that we've been playing it is there is a controller card called Gloomy Heaven, and that ability allows you to recover a spent special attack. So if you haven't spent, the other one, theoretically, I guess you could unflip your one that you had to spend because of the Kemet level. Now, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's how we've been playing it.
Yes, you can. And even you get attacks that can get back the special attacks, and even it's not the official rule, but there is no problem to use this rule. You can change, for example, you can put the chemical hunt 2 monster 3 and 4 and consider them one level before and not losing the special attack. There is no balance issue if you do this. This is not the rule, but you can do if you wanna keep your attack with no problem at all balanced. So
Yeah.
if you
Of course,
prefer,
the
this is an alternative.
as with most board games and the way that I play as well is, sometimes if you really don't like a rule, then play it however way that you think is fun, right? We're going to provide the official rules of the game, and you should play that way, but if for some reason you really do not want to have a spent special attack, then do it. Just keep both of them.
No,
It's more
yes, you
about
can,
having
but you can
fun,
do.
right?
Yeah. Yes, and it's not just it will not have the balance issues. Because if you put the enemy of Chemistry Hunt 2 there, the balancing is okay. So there is no problem at all. You can play with no problem at balancing. So
Yeah.
go ahead. You can keep if you wish, no problem. So you, for example, you are Chemistry Hunt 2. You put the enemies of Chemistry Hunt 2 and 3 and keep your special attack, for example. So it's an alternative that you can keep your specials, but use the keeping the same difficulty level. I saw a question PvP 3 teams. I don't know. We didn't test like this, but I think it could be fun too.
So I'll just say that we have a in the community mod. The mod creator actually did develop a rule set for playing with multiple teams. I think it's up to 4 possible teams. And he based it off of a rule set that goes with the Street Fighter miniatures board game. And with that one, it's kind of like to prevent ganging up on somebody. And so there's some things that dissuade you from just ganging up on one person. We did one test for that previously. There's maybe still some more balance work that could be done, but maybe if you want to try that, you can. And I think he already has it set up in the mod. So if you want to try multiple PvP mode, check that in Tabletop Simulator. Okay, well, I think that is pretty much it, unless anyone else has some last minute questions here, and we're going to get out of here.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on here, Alex.
And I will try to answer regularly. We can make this question and answer about 2 times per month. We're gonna try to always have this answering the questions, because I think it could help people to. I'll be here.
Yeah. So
of course you can reach me on social medias on Board Game Geek, or even on the Facebook group. I'm always there to answer any question people have.
Yeah, so good thing to point out is if you have additional questions, you can leave them in the comments down below and we'll answer those. And then like Alex was saying, is even if you couldn't attend the time for today, and I mentioned this on the Facebook post as well, as we will have more in the future, especially because we do understand not everyone has the game. They haven't been able to experience it yet. So maybe some of these things they're not ready to understand, or they understand the questions yet, or been able to come up with their own, right? So we're going to do more in the future to answer those questions again. Okay, well, I think that is it for us. Thank you guys so much for participating in this question Q&A here.
Thank you.
And thank you, Alex, for coming. And we will do this again. I don't have a specific date yet, but we'll definitely be doing it again, not a super long period of time. But that is